Some artists only needed one tune to change reggae forever. Teen queens, schoolyard anthems, wedding day drama, and a nah 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 you still can't shake. This is the ultimate reggae one-hit wonders list, 12 to 1.
We got a message for you.
The first time I heard Sunshine Reggae, I wasn't on a beach. I was standing at a bus stop after rain. The puddles were still on the road, and a corner shop had a tiny speaker hanging in the doorway. Then that soft, rolling rhythm floated out. La la melodies, easy skank guitar, a lazy synth line that felt like a hammock.
Gimme just a little smile.
I remember thinking, these guys must be from Jamaica. Later I learned they were a Danish duo from Copenhagen. That shocked me, but it also made sense. The song wasn't trying to imitate every reggae trick. It took the feel, laid-back drums, offbeat guitar, a warm bass, and made it simple and inviting. It didn't argue about who invented what. It just smiled and let you in. In Europe, it was everywhere. It hit #1 in Germany and Austria.
Sunshine, sunshine reggae.
You heard it in holiday ads, beach bars, and on late-night radio shows that usually played rock ballads. That was the song's quiet power. It didn't arrive with hype. It just kept returning, like sunlight after clouds.
All I ask of you, is that too much? Gimme.
What I learned from Sunshine Reggae was that reggae wasn't trapped by geography or by rules. The groove could travel. The joy could travel. The message was simple. Slow down, breathe.
Sunshine, sunshine reggae.
And let the rhythm soften the edges of your day. Sometimes a song doesn't have to be complex to be convincing. It just has to be honest about the mood it wants to give you.
Sunshine, sunshine reggae.
Why it mattered? It showed a mainland European audience that reggae could be a feeling as much as a national sound. It didn't open the door with politics or protest. It opened with pleasure, and a whole lot of listeners walked through. I heard this one late, on a Sunday afternoon when the house was quiet and the sun came low through the curtains. Someone Loves You, Honey. Felt like a letter I wasn't supposed to read. J.C. Lodge sang it like a whisper, meant for one person. The arrangement was lovers rock to the bone. Gentle drums, soft guitar, a bass line that never showboats. When Prince Muhammad slides in, it's not to steal focus. It's to carry the feeling forward. What made it hit me was how adult it sounded. Not in a flashy way, but in a real way. It wasn't begging for love or bragging about it. It was confirming love, just saying it out loud. In that calm voice, it felt true. The song topped charts in the Netherlands and traveled across Europe, but it never felt like it was chasing popularity. It sounded like it was written at a kitchen table, then recorded with the windows open. I remember my aunt humming it while cooking. She didn't care about charts. She cared about songs that made the room feel kind. That's the specific power of lovers rock. It turns the volume down and the intimacy up. Reggae can be militant, it can be mystical. But it can also be a quiet hug that lasts 3 minutes and change. Why it mattered? Lovers rock made reggae safe for people who thought the music might be too rough or too radical. J.C. Lodge gave Europe a doorway into tenderness. The side of reggae that holds your hand instead of raising a fist. We were kids watching other kids on TV. That mattered. 5 schoolboys in uniforms, bouncing and smiling, chanting a chorus that felt like recess on a beat. The first time I saw the video, I stood closer to the screen without moving. It felt like the grown-ups had left the studio and the kids had taken the mic for themselves. The rhythm came from a deeper story, versions rolling back to Past the Coochie and the Mighty Diamonds. But on our side of the screen, it came through as clean energy and good news.
Session was there in swing.
Pass the Dutchie hit #1 in the UK and climbed into the US top 10. For a moment, the world agreed that children could lead the chant. I remember kids at the back of the bus tapping the rhythm on the seatbacks, turning the aisle into a drum line. People argued about the lyrics, the meaning of the Dutchie and what was being passed. But on the ground, the song did something else. It unified different ages. Parents didn't switch it off. Children didn't tune it out. We all mouthed the hook together, a rare truce in the radio wars. Why it mattered? Musical youth proved reggae could be mainstream without losing its pulse.
What was going on?
They brought the genre into family living rooms and after-school clubs. The message wasn't complicated. Food, community, rhythm, joy. For a season, we all shared the bowl.
On the road and you not call out to me. Do you see me in my pants and ting? See me in.
Some songs sound like they were planned by a committee. This one sounds like it happened by accident. And that's the magic. I first heard it on a hand-me-down cassette. No label, no case. Just a tape passed from cousin to cousin until it reached me.
I strictly rules. See me on the road and you not call out to me.
Two teenage girls chatting and boasting over a roots groove, riding the lines with a smile. It felt like eavesdropping on cool older sisters who desperately wanted to imitate. The legend says a John Peel spin sent it flying. And soon it was at #1 in the UK.
Small spring, but the true, them no know and ting. Them no know, say we top.
That jump from a radio moment to the top of the chart made the song feel like a secret the whole country decided to share. The bass line swaggered, the patois moved like conversation. The attitude did the rest. Althea and Donna didn't sound like stars trying to be perfect.
That a true constant spring. Them checks say we come from Cosmo.
They sounded like real people having fun. And that was the flex. I remember trying to quote lines I barely understood, practicing the cadence like it was a dance step. That's how culture spreads. You don't always grasp every word, but you catch the rhythm, the posture, the confidence.
Dancing in our khaki suit and ting. Love it.
Uptown Top Ranking taught me that reggae wasn't only about depth and dread. It was also about style. The kind that walks into a room and changes it without raising its voice. Why it mattered. It showed that young women, unpolished and fearless,
But the true, them no know and ting. Them no know, say we top ranking.
could command the roots groove and the charts. It also proved that radio tastemakers could still break a record overnight, when the tune is undeniable. The first time I heard Informer, I honestly thought the DJ had sped the record up by accident. Then I realized that's the flow. Quick syllables, patois, flipped into a sing-jay chant, all riding a beat that bounced like a rubber ball. I was in a friend's living room, jackets piled on a couch, the TV glowing with Yo MTV raps. When Snow hit the A Licky Boom Boom Down hook, the room cracked up and then quieted. We were laughing because it sounded wild, but we were listening because it felt new. I remember how teachers and parents tried to decode the lyrics like it was a puzzle from another planet. But to us, the point wasn't translating every word. It was the energy, the way the chorus hit and the verses ran like a sprint. The beat had dancehall bones, but a pop polish. The hook moved like a jump rope chant. For 7 weeks, it sat at the top of the US chart, which meant every bus ride and corner store played it, whether you loved it or not. And most of us ended up loving it. What stuck with me wasn't just the novelty of a white Jamaican Canadian owning a dancehall cadence. It was how Informer blew open the gate for what could count as a pop vocal. You didn't have to belt like Whitney or croon like Michael. You could half sing, half toast, and if the melody rode the bass line right, the world would meet you where you were. Why it mattered? Informer made space for the sing-jay voice in mainstream pop. It proved that rapid-fire patois and a sticky hook could live on daytime TV and top 40 radio without watering the sound down. Some songs arrive like a summer you didn't plan for. I was in a discount clothing store with busted speakers when Here Comes the Hot Stepper looped in. The na 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 na, floating over a sample I couldn't name yet. I found myself moving in the aisle without thinking.
Excuse me, Mr. Officer. Still love you like that.
By the second loop, 2 other shoppers were nodding too. We didn't speak, we just grinned. That's how this song worked. It united strangers for 4 minutes. Kamosi had been an underground DJ for years, but this song caught lightning.
Extraordinary, juice like a straw.
The beat stitched together hip-hop swagger and reggae gate. The chant was so catchy, even people who didn't like reggae hummed it. On radio, it felt unstoppable. Like if you turned the dial, it would be waiting on the next station, too.
Juice like a burn berry, man like a straw, baby.
When he dropped I'm the Lyrical Gangster, it felt like a badge, a joke, and a threat all in one line. Cool without trying. I remember a school dance where Hot Stepper turned the gym floor into a chorus. No one danced alone, everyone chanted together. The beauty of that hook was its simplicity. You could join in even if English wasn't your first language. It didn't explain itself, it pulled you in.
I'm the lyrical gangster. Excuse me, Mr. Officer.
Why it mattered? By fusing dancehall attitude with hip-hop production and a universal chant, Hot Stepper defined that 90s crossover sweet spot. It taught programmers and listeners that reggae cadence over sample-driven beats could rule the playlist without apology.
I wanna tell you I love you way every day, yeah.
I found this one in a completely different setting. Late night slow jams hour on the local station. The DJ set it up like a dedication. This one's for the lovers in the back seat. The opening guitar was pure California glow. Then the beat eased in like a tide.
A city, but oh no.
I knew it was a cover, but I didn't care. The way Big Mountain handled it, soft skank guitar, breezy harmonies, a bass line that hugged the vocal, turned a 70s rock classic into beachfront lovers rock. At first I tried to act cool about it. It was too sweet, too radio friendly.
Love you way every day, yeah. I wanna tell
Until I noticed how many places it followed me. Shopping centers, movie trailers, house parties where the aunties took over the stereo. Every time the chorus landed, shoulders relaxed and conversations softened. The song didn't aim for hard credibility, it aimed for comfort. And it got there every single time.
tell you I love you way every day, yeah, yeah.
The video played like a postcard, sunset shots, ocean light, but the music did the real lifting. It showed me that reggae didn't have to shout to make its point. It could remap a familiar melody with rhythm, turn romance up 2 degrees, and move the same emotions in a fresher way.
Ooh, baby, I love you way every day.
Why it mattered? This was crossover polish at its smartest. It brought lovers rock into mainstream pop without losing the offbeat pulse.
I light the sky with a hand.
It also proved that reggae's feel could reframe a rock standard and make it chart again for a new generation. The first spin I caught was on a movie soundtrack, Bad Boys. And then suddenly it was everywhere. Radio countdowns, video channels, storefront speakers. The beat was sleek dancehall, but the vocal was the star. Playful, tough, feminine, and precise. Diana King wasn't asking permission to be there. She was running the rhythm from the first note. I remember how the hook flipped my mood. The verses teased, the chorus hit like a wink. It felt like a conversation overheard at a party. Someone admitting what she wants, but on her own terms. The production had just enough pop sheen to slide onto every playlist, but the drum pattern and the patois kept it grounded in dancehall. In a year where male voices dominated a lot of the crossover, hearing a woman own that space felt necessary. At school, the girls sang it louder than the boys, and the boys didn't mind. Everyone understood the bounce, the way the bass line gently pushed your shoulders, the way the offbeat guitar gave the chorus lift. Shy Guy proved you could be radio ready and still have edge. It felt international and local at the same time. Why it mattered. Diana King showed that a woman could take a dance hall-rooted single into the global pop lane without softening the attitude. It widened the lane for female voices in reggae fusion and pushed the sound onto even bigger stages. The memory is a summer bus ride with all the windows down. The driver had the station locked on a hits countdown, but for once the song felt like it was made for the breeze, not for the studio. No Letting Go slid in on the Diwali rhythm, that bright, syncopated hand clap pattern that felt like sunlight tapping your shoulder. I remember looking around the bus, heads nodding, shoulders softening, strangers sharing a small smile that said, "Yeah, this is the one." I didn't hear a demand in Wayne Wonder's voice. I heard gratitude. The chorus moved like a thank you note set to a dance. The Diwali beat, minimal, zigzagging, addictive, made everything feel lighter. It was dancehall stripped of sharp elbows and rough edges, rebuilt as a summer anthem that could live anywhere. Car stereos, backyard cookouts, mall speakers, wedding pre-games. It was his only big US crossover, but it sounded like a lifetime. One of those songs that keeps showing up whenever the temperature rises. What I learned from No Letting Go is that the right rhythm can carry a whole season. You don't need complicated chords or pyrotechnics. You need a groove that makes space for hearts to open. That's what the Diwali did. Left pockets of air around the vocals so the feeling could breathe. Why it mattered? It proved a dancehall-rooted record could cross over without sanding off its Jamaican pulse. It set the template for the early 2000s sweet spot. Lean percussion, melodic top line, and warmth you could feel on your skin. This one didn't crash in. It drifted. I first caught it at a house party where the speakers weren't great, but the mood was. The piano figure came in like someone tracing a fingertip along a glass. Then, Egyptian's voice, soft, close, honest, floated in. The beat was minimal on purpose. Just enough kick, just enough snare, a bass line that refused to show off. It felt intimate, like a conversation held in a corner while everyone else danced. Hold You didn't need volume to take over the room. It just needed space. That's why the remixes kept coming. Club mixes, rap features, regional flips, and none of them erased the original's calm. It wasn't trying to be the loudest song. It was trying to be the one you remember when the lights come up. In the UK, it climbed into the top 20 and went platinum. In my world, it became a signal. If a DJ played it after midnight, they were ready to lower the ceiling and raise the temperature. I learned a different kind of power from Egyptian. Restraint. He never pushes his voice to the edge. He trusts the groove, the melody, and the listener's imagination. Sometimes the most sensual records are the ones that whisper. Why it mattered. It stretched what pop-ready dancehall could sound like, less bombast, more atmosphere, and showed that a sparse, sensual arrangement could travel farther than a wall of sound. I didn't expect to be singing reggae pop in the cereal aisle, but there I was, pushing a cart and humming, Why You Gotta Be So Rude? A Canadian band, a simple guitar chop, a stubbornly cheerful melody. In a friend's car. We let it run twice because it felt like a summer movie scene. Windows down, chorus up, the road stretching ahead like a ribbon. Rude did a trick I love.
you gotta be so rude? I'm gonna
Pairing a slightly messy story with a clean, unstoppable tune. It's playful without being empty, lightweight without being disposable. The rhythm is reggae by attitude and architecture. Offbeat guitar, buoyant bass, a beat that refuses to hurry.
Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human?
And the vocal keeps a smile even as the lyrics roll their eyes. Before long, it was everywhere. Barbecues, high school playlists, reception halls where the groomsmen already knew the words. What it taught me was that reggae's bones are friendly to pop drama.
Why you gotta be so rude? I'm gonna marry you.
Give the song a real-life dilemma and a chorus that anybody can sing by the second pass, and you've got fuel. People who didn't think of themselves as reggae fans sang it anyway. That's a victory for the genre's DNA. The offbeat carries everyday stories better than almost any rhythm in pop.
I hate to do this, you leave no choice.
Why it mattered? It proved that a guitar-forward reggae pop band could top the streaming era with a story-first single. It also reminded the industry that clean songwriting, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, repeat, still wins when the groove is right.
Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right.
I can tell you the exact scene. Outdoor market, late afternoon, speakers tied to a tent pole with blue rope. The horn line bubbled in like soda bubbles. The beat had a tropical house glide. The vocal came smiling.
Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always.
Within 30 seconds, vendors were swaying behind cash boxes and kids were trying to whistle along. The original Cheerleader was sweet, but Felix Jehan's remix turned it into sunlight you could download.
And I got the magic wand. All these other girls are tempting, but I'm empty when you're gone.
What made it so sticky wasn't just the hook, it was the feeling. The track kept space between the notes like a room with open windows. The bass never crowded, the percussion rolled instead of punched. The trumpet line lifted your chin without demanding it.
And all these other girls are tempting, but I'm empty when you're gone. And they say, do you need me?
In a world where many songs try to win by shouting, Cheerleader won by being hospitable. It invited you to feel good and never asked for a receipt. I watched it travel from markets to ride shares to weddings to gym playlists. It didn't belong to one community or one age. It belonged to any place willing to be a little lighter for 3 minutes.
I'm pretty, do I make you feel like cheating? I'm like, no, not really, cause oh.
That's reggae's secret gift in the streaming age. It knows how to host a mood. Dress the groove in new clothes, tropical house here, pop shimmer there, and the welcome stays the same.
Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader.
Why it mattered? It showed that reggae's sunny DNA can merge with modern dance production without losing its core joy. A Jamaican songwriter and a European remixer built a global summer one that felt both local and universal. Island warmth on a world stage. If you enjoyed this episode, then go watch this video.